We're in the radio studio today at the Key and talking to Paul Drake, who is taking on a pretty big adventure here in just a few days. I got to ask you, Paul, how are you feeling? How many days out are we?
3 days, yeah.
3 days ahead of the big race, the Ironman 70.3. Now, Paul has been an athlete for a lot of years. You've been working out. When was this venture? When did it take off?
Well, I'm going to give away my age here. It was about 19 years ago, and
Wow.
That's when I turned 40.
Because I remember years ago, Paul and I have known each other for quite a long time. I remember years ago a very different Paul.
Let's not go into that closet.
I just want to say it's so impressive. I so admire the diligence, the effort, the consistency. I've known a lot of people that get in shape, but it doesn't last very long, myself included. So you've had this venture where you've just made health and your physical abilities and skill and athleticism such a priority in your life. You know, what was it that sparked that interest in you?
My wife.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I've been athletic most of my life, but there was a time there where I was a heavy smoker. I was a heavy drinker at one time.
That's that different Paul I was telling you about.
But something changed early on, and then my wife and I started working out when she gave me a personal training certificate for my birthday.
Wow.
My 40th birthday, and ever since then it's been a minimum 2 days a week, and now I'm 5-6 days a week.
I watched you do a number of pull-ups once, and I thought, he looks like a Gumby, like no effort at all to do like 10 pull-ups in a row or more, over and under. So have you ever even ran a marathon though? Because I know you've trained extensively. Have you run marathons before?
No, the Ironman will be
the first.
Totally
So
new to me, yeah.
go big or go home with Paul Drake. My goodness. So what is your biggest fear about all this? Do you have one?
I think my biggest fear would be I don't know what I'm doing. I feel I've done all my research. There's a lot of unknowns right now where I'm just going to find out race day.
I love it.
And I can prep and do all this and read everything up, and I've got the athlete guide. I have an idea what to expect, but then again, I haven't raced with 3,000 people around me, or 100 people swimming around me at once. So, that's going to be a totally different feel, where right now, I'm swimming with a group of 30 every Friday morning, and that's kind of challenging. It's different, but there's a whole group of people that do this all the time, and I'm just kind of a new person getting in, and I just thought, what the heck, when I heard it was in town, I thought, what, I should do that, because I don't think I would travel to go do that.
Right.
Maybe I'll like it afterwards. Maybe I'll do that in the future. But I thought, it's here. It's in town. I think I can do this. So I signed up.
It called your name, and you were just destined for it. It seems like. I mean, what a great challenge to, give yourself, especially at this time of your life when you have never even raced a marathon. They say, I've heard this say, because I've known people who run marathons, and I noticed that it was 70.3 miles. I'm like, that 0.3 is going to be the killer. Okay, so tell me, break it down for me. How much swimming, how much running, how much biking is it?
So it starts with a swim, and it's 1.2 miles. We get in at Howard Amen there by the big boat dock, and then we swim down to Columbia Point Marina, and that's 1.2. And then we get out of there, we take off our suits and run to transition 1. From there we dry off, and then put on our helmets, grab the bikes, and jump on the bike and ride 56 miles. And I drove that earlier this week. I haven't ridden the course yet. I was planning to, but didn't have time. So we do that, and then we finish up with, we get back to the same transition area in Columbia Point Marina for the second transition, and then we get off our helmet, we rack our bike, and then we throw on our running shoes and run 13.1 miles.
Wow,
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
amazing, Paul.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think it takes a kind of mentality. Athletes have a mentality in order to get in the shape that you're in. You've obviously had grueling times where it was getting a little rough, you had to push through. What do you do in your mind to prepare for this kind of a race?
I think really sleep and rest this week. I've been going, 6 days a week since 9 months, with very little time off. I crashed on my bike about 6 weeks ago. I thought I was out, bruised my hip pretty bad, and it was just a fluke accident. But it was, I got really lucky, so I'm in good shape now. Got a scar on my hip. It'll be there for life probably, but just preparing was difficult.
That's the training. What about the mental? What do you do when you're at that grueling part where you've trained so hard for so long? What do you do to get through those times where you just want to quit?
I try to I don't listen to the voice in my head, and that my body will come through. I mean, if there's pain and I'm obvious I can't go further, I'm going to stop and rest. But I just tell myself when I'm going that, keep pressure on the pedals. These are things that go on in my mind. That as long as I have some pressure on those pedals, the bike is going forward, right? And if I got time to make hay, I'm going downhill. I'm gonna make up time there. The running part is the difficult part for me. The swimming and the running, but I'm better at the swimming now. And the swimming it's interesting when you jump into the river and you think, okay, I got 1.2 miles to swim. But when you have a current that's helping you, it really makes a difference. So the trick is...
Don't tell the trick!
you got to get out as far as you can and catch that current. And then as you get close, you slowly start to make your way back in. So that's what I'm going to be hugging the buoys as far out as I can.
Okay.
And then coming into the marina there. But the run, I get to that mile 10, and then that's when my mind starts thinking, I don't know if I can do this.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of keep my muscles going.
I'm getting anxiety just thinking about it. I think that would be really, really rough. So I noticed when you talk about the different races, nowhere in there when you're transitioning from the swim to the bike to the run, nowhere in there did I hear, where do you eat to give yourself energy for this?
Well, there's a nutrition plan. I've got a breakfast already planned for 3:15 a.m. on Sunday, and I'm going to eat that. There's a lot of carbs, bananas, fruit. There's a raspberry jam sandwich. That's just part of it. And then when I get to the swim start, about 20 minutes before, I have what's called it's goo. It's called goo, and it's meant for it's nutrition. It's meant for these type of events. And it's just a little packet, and you just split it open. There's some caffeine, carbs, sodium, other ingredients that will give me a burst of energy. I'll take that about 20 minutes before I get into the water, and that's my first dose. Oh, and caffeine. I'll drink a lot of coffee in the morning, but then when I get out of the water, I'm going to eat a Costco cookie dough bar,
All right.
a protein bar, as I'm getting ready to get on the bike. And then I have, nutrition planned throughout the race, whether that's, half a banana, more goo, hydration.
Sounds lovely.
Yeah. So, and then, you gotta eat that while you're on the bike, and that's challenging too. And I think that's part of why I crashed. I was trying to grab a water bottle, and I lost grip, and I tried to catch it, and it threw me on the ground. But so there's timing to it all. I can stop if I want. There's aid stations. There's nutrition stations. There's porta potties. Thank goodness.
Thank goodness.
I've heard of a lot of different strategies from people that take this really serious.
Yeah, they just go in the river, don't they?
Well, they just go on their bike, or while they're sitting down putting on their shoes to go run, they'll just go in the grass right there in their shorts. And
that's dedicated.
Yeah.
That's competition, I guess.
Well, I'm not trying to get on the podium here, so if I gotta go, I'm going to the restroom. But my goal is to finish and have fun, but not get in the way of the people that are really taking it serious. And it's not that I'm not taking it serious. It's just I'm not going to make it to the podium, and that's not my goal. My goal is just I want to finish.
Pace yourself.
Yeah.
Keep good thoughts, keep good energy, eat well, stay safe, get through the race, and have something to talk about, a story for sure. Well, we all admire you. We'll be following you. We'll try to find a place on the race the areas that we can catch glimpses and cheer you on.
I'll send you
But-
my tracker.
Yes.
I'll be a blip on the
Yes,
screen.
yes,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can do that. That's
Yeah.
super cool. How can the listeners follow you?
Well, if they want, they can just go. They can download the Ironman Tracker app, and then just plug in. I'll give out my real
Your
last name.
real last
Yeah.
name. Okay, go ahead and
just,
give it.
Paul Hinkson, Hinkson, and then you'll see me there with my bike and in an image, and then I'll pop up. When I start moving, once I start the swim, then I'll start. You'll see a little blip. You'll see me in the park.
Okay.
But
So exciting.
yeah.
So exciting. Maybe the listeners don't know Paul Hinkson. You know him as Paul Drake. Paul Drake has been manager of Town Square Media and a numerous other amount of stations that have changed name during this time. But how long have you been in this business, Paul?
Let's see, 36 years, and then it's been 31 years here at Town Square, yeah.
Paul and I have known each other since 1990, and like I say, I knew Paul as a different Paul way back then.
Yeah, you did.
So one last question, how have you managed to manage a radio station and get in all your training and prepare for a race this big and still make it to work every day?
I get up early.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm up, 4:30, 5 a.m. every day.
So am I, Paul,
Yeah.
but I don't do this, and I can't seem to fit in
Yeah.
exercise.
Yeah.
So I don't have the mentality of an athlete, obviously.
That can change.
No, probably not. Well, thank you so much for talking
Yeah.
with us today. We wish you well. Stay safe. Have fun. We hope you finish that race. I think you will. And we'll see you at the end of it.
Thank you, Faith.